Welcome to Phantom Cobweb Studio.
A man scrambles backward across a marble floor, screaming into the shadows of a storm-lit room. He offers everything he owns, his mansions, his bank accounts, his luxury cars. But the force stepping out of the dark doesn't deal in human currency. It's here for his life. To understand how a rational human being ends up begging for his life in the dark, we must look at the mechanics of his contract. What psychological failure drives someone to agree to a pact where the penalty for failure is death? Our subject is Manav. He started with complete security. Thanks to his hardworking father, Manav inherited a stable, respected government position. He had a guaranteed income, societal status, and a clear path to a comfortable retirement. But a comfortable retirement takes decades, and Manav was impatient. He started demanding bribes for routine administrative tasks. When undercover journalists exposed his corruption, the fallout was absolute. He lost his job, his reputation, and all of his family's accumulated assets. When a person destroys their own legitimate avenues for wealth, the resulting desperation creates a vacuum. With no conventional way back to the top, they become highly vulnerable to the unearned, dangerous shortcuts promised by dark folklore. Manav's search for a shortcut leads him to an isolated cremation ground. Surrounded by the smoke of burning pyres, he approaches a tantric, a practitioner of esoteric occult rituals, demanding a supernatural solution to his self-inflicted poverty. These folklore rituals function as binding, transactional contracts. Infinite wealth sits on one side of the ledger, requiring a specific, often hidden, payment on the other. To even initiate this contract, the human must clear a prerequisite hurdle. Manav has to completely submit to the rules of the tantric, actively abandoning everyday logic and common sense. Stepping into the occult requires stripping away normal human morality. It is a massive gamble, trading one's humanity for the illusion that you can control forces you barely understand. The ritual demands specific physical preparations. It must take place on Amavasya, the night of the new moon, when darkness is absolute. Manav is instructed to wear only unstitched black clothing and smear his body entirely with fresh ash taken straight from the cremation pyres. Then comes the first payment to open the spiritual doorway. The tantric slices the throat of a goat in a single motion, catching the blood to feed the ritual fire. But animal blood is only the primer. To prove his commitment, the toll must come directly from the summoner. The tantric pulls Manav's hand over the roaring flames and drives a knife straight through his palm, letting his own blood stream into the fire. The environment reacts immediately. A violent storm erupts over the cremation ground. Lightning strikes and heavy rain batters them, yet the ritual fire continues to burn, signaling that the veil between worlds is tearing open. This exposes the first law of supernatural pacts. These entities do not answer prayers, and they do not care about human desperation. They respond exclusively to the currency of blood, pain, and the deliberate violation of the natural order. Out of the chaotic storm, the summoned entity manifests. She is a Yakshini, a powerful class of nature spirit. She arrives in the form of a beautiful, seductive woman, a calculated appearance designed to disarm her human summoner. Manav lays out his demand clearly. He wants an endless supply of wealth, property, and luxury, entirely bypassing the effort of traditional labor. This flowchart isolates the terms of the Yakshini's counteroffer. She agrees to provide guaranteed continuous wealth generation. But in exchange, Manav must remain entirely loyal to her and satisfy her physical desires every single night. The immediate influx of wealth creates a cognitive blind spot. Manav focuses on the liquid assets while ignoring the logistics of maintaining a lifelong nightly commitment to a supernatural force. The true trap of the Dark Pact is psychological. The entity intentionally sets terms that the human ego believes it can master, causing the summoner to overlook their own mortal limitations. In the beginning, the pact functions perfectly. Manav accumulates massive wealth, vast properties, and an incredibly luxurious lifestyle as promised. He believes he has beaten the system. This graph compares wealth accumulation versus biological aging. As years pass, the wealth curve rises exponentially into Manav's accounts. Simultaneously, his human vitality curve drops steadily. Eventually, the lines cross. Manav's deteriorating health falls below the strict physical threshold required by the Yakshini's nightly demand. Manav finally sees the trap. The entity never intended for a fair exchange. It was never a partnership. She was simply farming his life force, waiting patiently until his biological clock expired. Supernatural debts cannot be renegotiated. Human biology acts as the loophole that allows the dark entity to collect its collateral. Desperate, Manav flees back to the cremation ground. He begs the tantric for a way to break the contract, offering to give all the money back just to save his life. The tantric coldly rejects him. He confirms that once a human defaults on a Yakshini, no ritual or human magic can reverse the debt. The Yakshini arrives to collect her debt. The beautiful, seductive illusion she used to trick Manav cracks and melts away, revealing her true demonic form. She grabs Manav and drags him into the darkness. Behind him, his accumulated mansions, cars, and gold are left sitting uselessly on the floor. The desire for unearned wealth through dark shortcuts won't make you master of your fate. It merely turns you into temporary currency for a darkness that always wins in the end.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you dare.